Hi, this is Jody O'Mara representing the Early Learning Department in Manatee County. The purpose of this session is to review enhancements made to the instructional focus of the scope and sequence of the curriculum maps. These documents, among others, will be used to support planning and to guide instruction for the 2020 and 2021 school year. These tools will be part of our weekly collaborative planning sessions. And these enhancements include Power Standards, which are the absolute essential standards for success in pre-K classrooms. The focus of this session will be looking at the English language arts and mathematics standards through the curriculum map, scope and sequence, and progressions in pre-K. We'll begin with an overview of the scope and sequence for ELA. Here is the pre-K English Language Arts scope and sequence for the coming school year. We will begin by looking at the left-hand column. The left-hand column designates each quarter by color so that you know where to begin. The Power Standards are listed second. These Power Standards list the priority standards to meet grade level expectations. These are supported by the supporting standards, which are in the following column. Power Standards are not taught in isolation. Power Standards are those standards which are essential for success in pre-K classrooms. I'll speak more about the support standards when we look at the curriculum map, but it's important to know that both the Power Standards and Support Standards are critical to address, as these are standards of the Florida ages 4 through kindergarten readiness standards. Next to that is the resource column, which lists universal tools common to pre-K classes. Finally, the progress monitoring list shows the VPK assessment, the STAR, and the ESE progress monitoring tool. Each of these will help us to ensure that students are successful during the year. Next, we'll take a look at the curriculum map for ELA. Here we see the pre-K curriculum map for English Language Arts. What you are looking at is quarter 1. As you can see, the most important standards are featured, although we should spend time with all standards. The actual standards are provided in your Schoology folder, which will be shown in a few minutes. Next to the Power Standards are the essential questions. These focus on the overall essence of the standard and highlight why the standard is so important. This should help you with your instructional design. The next column highlights what the student should know and understand in order to be successful with current topics. This includes both the vocabulary and the expected outcomes. These might be worded directly from the standard, but they also include some prior knowledge that might be necessary. These should be explicitly taught and used in context within lessons. In order to provide consistency within the district, there has been developed performance tasks for each Power Standard. These tasks are meant to be rigorous enough to show mastery and can be used at the discretion of the teacher as a formative assessment. Students should be provided feedback on all of these tasks. The last column on the map shows the district-supported resources that all teachers in pre-K classrooms should have at their disposal and able to use. Now let's look at quarter 2. You'll notice in quarter 2 that some of the same standards are named again. This is because these are Power Standards. In pre-K classrooms, we do have standards that go across the length of the school year, with mastery being expected at the end of the year. But what you will see here is that for each quarter, we have different expectations and outcomes. This tool is going to be very helpful to you as you look at the progression of a standard from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, in terms of what is expected from students and what depth of knowledge is required for mastery of each of those. Here we see quarter 3 and 4 below. This is quarter 3. and quarter 4. Now let's take a look at the pre-K math progressions. Again, you will see that these are color-coded by quarter so that you know which is addressed in which quarter. On the left-hand side, you'll see the standards. In mathematics, because it is a foundational content area, we look at all of the standards in pre-K as power standards. Therefore, rather than looking at power standards and support standards, we're looking at these in terms of the progression and levels of complexity. When reading this document, we read the standard on the left-hand side and then look across laterally. We see where it is indicated. If we go down to patterns, we see that for this particular standard, it's addressed in quarters 1 and quarter 2. However, this standard should progress in its level of rigor so that at the beginning of the quarter, in first quarter, we see this as a description, and then at quarter 2, it becomes more rigorous. So we move from using basic single attributes to sort and extend for repeat AB patterns to using more complex items, which have multiple features. So each time we're looking at this, we're looking at how the level of rigor moves up along the way. In this particular standard, we see that it's not addressed until third quarter. First and second quarter are focused more on the number concept. This math document has all of our standards and shows you the progressions that we would expect for a pre-K student to be successful by the end of the year. These documents shared can be found in the resource folder of the pre-K group in Schoology. Other related materials will be added throughout the year. Please contact any of the early learning team for any questions or concerns you have. The early learning team specialists include Luann Howe, Angela Napick, Stacy Schmall, and me, Jody O'Mara. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to working with you in collaborative partnerships in 2021.